Welcome to Sir Lancelot's Real Estate Roundtable, your guide to mastering the realm of real estate in Central East Florida. I am Sir Lancelot Leonard, ready to uncover the secrets of seller strategies, home staging, mortgage mastery, and more. From Daytona Beach to Cocoa Beach, Lake County to St. Augustine, join me as we navigate the intricacies of real estate. As the leader of the Sir Lancelot Group at Florida Homes Realty and Mortgage, I'm here to arm you with knowledge and innovation, whether you're a seasoned homeowner or a first-time buyer, unveiling the kingdom of real estate, one roundtable at a time. Welcome back to the Real Estate Roundtable. Today, we have a special guest who's not only a visionary in the blockchain space, but is helping to revolutionize how we think about real estate. Joining us, Eric Cruz, Senior Vice President of Sales at Trailblazing platform that's changing how high-value properties are bought and sold. Yes, even through the power of blockchain technology. From Grant Cardone's $42 million Miami mansion to Miami-Dade's blockchain evolution, Eric is the forefront of transforming how we buy, sell, and secure homes in Florida and beyond. Buckle up, because this is going to be a deep dive into the future of real estate, technology, and how these words are colliding in a spectacular fashion. Eric, welcome to the pod.
Lancelot, thanks for having me, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you. Actually, we just talked a few minutes before. He just flew in. He just got on the pod. I mean, great enthusiasm here. Eric, tell us about your journey. How did you first get involved with Proppy and the idea of integrating blockchain into real estate transactions?
Yeah, I think actually it all starts with just, I was actually in the mortgage industry years ago, in the good old days in the 2006 or 2005, 2005, 6, 7, and then 8 came. And so I've been in real estate for a while. I kind of knew about it. My mother was actually a real estate agent with CW. And then I got into the title business around, about 3 years ago. And then from there, there's always been kind of inefficiencies in real estate, and real estate has always been so traditional, and it's just hasn't changed. And so if you look at, every other business out there and every other space that's out there, the way people are shopping, the way that, for cars, for groceries, for furniture, everything has changed except real estate. It's the one industry that is still exactly the same as it was, in the 90s and 80s. So there had to be a change, or had to be a solution. And so every time that there's a question, what do? You start searching on Google, right? Well, now we start searching on ChatGPT, but then it was Google. And then you just kind of, went down this rabbit hole of blockchain and Web3 and smart contracts and all this. And then I found Proppy and been here ever since.
That is awesome, man. Blockchain, it's often seen as the future. At what point did you realize this could be a game changer in real estate?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still figuring it out. It's a forever evolution. I think because it's such a new technology, we're always finding different work cases for it, right? And we're always finding different solutions for different industries. And what if we did this? And what if all the car titles were on blockchain, with California's actually doing right now? What about medical bills? What about, and it's just, so it's forever evolving. And that's what's exciting about this industry, is that blockchain is so new that it hasn't really been fully figured out yet. But I truly believe in the way that it is and the way that it's structured, that it's almost a no-brainer that every industry will soon have portions of their business recorded on blockchain.
Oh, I totally believe in that too, my friend. And then, we talked a little bit about it. I think I had kind of like an idea. I said, you guys are already doing that just before the pod. And it was doing title as a blockchain, and then registering all the properties on blockchain, which would, down the line, I mean, it's a big fee for a lot of people that are buying and selling homes, is their title insurance, and if we have it on the blockchain, what's the necessity of doing title insurance, correct? Or is that wrong? Or I'm looking at this in the wrong way? Tell me about it a little bit.
No, I mean you're true. That's it's accurate. Um, there's a when it comes to real estate, blockchain can play so many roles.
Yeah.
We were the first company that had ever NFT'd a property, and then we sold that property using cryptocurrency. And then we were the first ever to do that. And then we were the first ever not only to record the deed onto the county level, but we recorded that deed on blockchain. So all this 30-day, 45-day process that we're so used to when purchasing and selling a house, we did in under 24 hours.
Wow.
And so we've had this technology, and we did this years ago.
Yeah.
So ever since then, what we have been doing, and we have these big initiative, which is called Proppy Keys, where you can go and mint your addresses, mint your deeds, and do all of that. But even our title and escrow service company that we have, we record every single transaction and the deed, not only on the county level, but on blockchain. And we've been doing this. I mean, we've transacted over $4 or $5 billion of real estate through our platform already. So our goal is, and what we want is, to be able to have all the deeds put on blockchain, because like you said, Lancelot, if we were able to go back in time and grab all the past deeds and put them on blockchain, and then figure out systems that the government can implement that can then record on the county level all the deeds going forward on blockchain, then exactly what you said, everything's going to be transparent. Everything can be looked up instantly. Therefore, there would be no reason to have an insurance policy to assure that the person that owns the house truly is the owner of that property. And then once that ownership switches instantly, now we have a real record of who is actually the new owner. And so you're right. It actually opens up for liquidity. It opens up for transparency, and it makes the process just so much efficient. And guess what? No title insurance.
Exactly. Saves thousands of dollars for homeowners. I mean, that's what my thought was. I mentioned a little bit, I was at a business master with Tony Robbins, and that's when I thought about this. Or actually, I thought about this like a half a year before I went to that event, but I don't know programming, and I don't know how to do this thing. So I actually
was he talking about blockchain back then?
He was not talking about blockchain, okay. But I got teamed up with you get teamed up with some people, and you create a group event, and you do a task together. And I was like, we had a programmer that worked with blockchain in my team, and I was like, I have something for you, So we've been, like a cat circling around the hot milk with it, but we haven't really gotten down. You guys got it down, so I don't think we're gonna get it down anymore. But I mean, we could talk about that in the future for sure, because I think I still have great ideas about that, and you might be able to take some of that with you and make it happen.
I want to hear it.
Yeah,
we'll
for
have
sure.
To connect. Yeah, I want to hear it.
Maybe off the pod. Florida, particularly Miami, has seen its fair share challenges with storm risk and rising insurance costs. Can you maybe walk us through how blockchain could streamline ownership, transparency, and help tackle these issues? I know we touched on a little bit. Can you go into it with a little bit more depth?
Yeah. God, Florida has been beaten down a little bit the last couple of years, man. I mean, it started with Ian. We had Nicole. In the last month, we started with Helena and ended with Milton.
Yes.
And there has been billions and billions of dollars paid out. And, where I live in the Tampa Bay area in St. Petersburg, Helena brought the water, and then Milton brought the wind.
The wind. Yeah.
And so it was almost like we had two storms, but we got the best of both, which is pretty wild. So what's happening now in the market is, one, people don't want to live in an area that gets destroyed often. And so we find that where Florida was the hub of everyone moving, right, to New York and the Northeast, and a lot of people from the Midwest would come into the west side of Florida, that's kind of gotten to a halt, because they're kind of like, well, is it really worth it? And then secondly, what's happening in the market too is the opposite. We're now, because of these storms, people are now going, is it worth it? Maybe we should start looking to move out elsewhere. And now we're seeing a huge amount of inventory, right? It's pretty wild. Add that on top of a election year, and
and a NAR
God,
settlement and interest rates at 6 to 7%.
yeah,
We're having a
it's
lot of fun as realtors this year.
I
That's for
know.
sure.
Lancelot, what are we even doing, man? Like
I don't know, man.
we should be yeah, flipping drinks or something, man. Um,
For sure. Go back to the past. Yeah.
so it definitely has its challenges. I think that where blockchain can really kind of set in that is insurance is already a lengthy process. They do their best, but it's a lengthy process. Real estate, as we know, is still a lengthy process. If blockchain was implemented in at least the insurance level, it could mainstream and streamline the entire process so much quicker, because it's, I don't know, the records are there. You know, and I know that's not a matter of fact that you just kind of look someone up name and someone's there, but I think it goes so much deeper than that. And I think that when there's catastrophic like this, like events, it just is awful. We have to worry about records and how, you know, where are they at? Fraud, you know, insurance fraud is a huge issue right now, right?
Yes.
And so being able to actually have systems in place for the insurance companies that help them out. And the less insurance that pays out, guess what? It's the less that homeowners are going to be paying over the years. And that's what's really stopping us. I mean, God, the insurance is killing us.
It is.
I live in a flood zone and pay, I don't know, I think $66,000, $6,500 a year just on insurance. Like it's mad. But I don't know. That's a whole nother thing. We need reform. That's what we need.
I mean, I could think the blockchain could help with win myths, all that stuff could be uploaded into the blockchain. And guess what? If it was done within 3 to 6 months, it could speed up the process of, hey, we didn't have any major storm, we didn't have any wind in between. We could just use that information again and have the next person, instead of paying it over and over and over again for that service, and then wait for the person to go out, write the report, get the report, upload the report, et cetera, we could use past reports as well, seeing what's going on with the house and what's going on with the home. I think that could be a help to the insurance companies to mitigate some of their expenses as well, or the homeowners to mitigate their expenses on getting insurance. I mean, that's one thing for sure.
I agree.
I mean, there's so many things that blockchain could do. It's like unlimited because of the amount of data it could store and how far back it could go. It's just crazy, I mean, even as you were touching on bases of what it could do, but think about, roof was replaced in 2020, or a lot of times when we have hurricanes, municipalities, I don't know if they allow for it, but they do like an emergency act or something where you don't have to pull permits on roofs and stuff like that. We had that, I think, here in our area in the early 2000s. A lot of homes that I sold the last 5 years had like a decent roof on it. It looked like it was only, 10, 12, 13 years old. But there was no permit pulled on it. And because of that, it needed to be replaced to be able to get a new insurance policy on it. And the homeowner was like, well, I'm out of pocket now, $15,000, $20,000. And I had it replaced like the last 10 years, And if we could put all that information on the blockchain as well, imagine how much that could help the process. Even us agents would have an easier job, because all our clients ask is, how old is the water heater? How old is the AC unit? How old is the roof? What's the plumbing like? What's the electrical like? When was it replaced? And all this information, if it would be on the blockchain, guess what? We would have access to it as realtors. And we would be able to go to a listing and say, hey, these are the information. Here's the information sheet. I printed out off of the blockchain. And, you don't have to ask me the questions because I have it here for you right away. That's a big help for agents, I'm sure.
The entire history, right? Yeah. It's the house's like diary almost, like, hey, this an appraisal was done 2 years ago. What did it appraise at back then? And it's just there, right? Like everything is there. I mean, wouldn't that be something?
That would be awesome.
I think there's like a plus to it, because we live and breathe real estate. We're like, we want all the information about this property now as fast as we possibly can, right? Like that's us, because we are in real estate. But then there's the consumer, and they're like, well, I don't want everyone to know all my details about my house, like, and I think it's kind of this kind of pool of, what should we actually put on public record and that makes the consumer actually still feel secure and that everyone's not out eyes on everything that they're
Well,
doing.
maybe allow only professionals to get to certain information. Some information like where your cameras are and stuff like that should be a secret. But like when was the roof replaced, or when the plumbing was done, that should be public information in that matter. Because if it's permit required, it's already in public records. That's what I was trying to point out with that.
And I was just going to say, and that's how it could be. There could be a private and a public blockchain, which is the beauty about blockchain, is that it doesn't necessarily have to be Ethereum. It doesn't have to necessarily be on everyone's eyes, that it can be built out to a private source.
Correct. So when you look at high profile listings like Grant Cardone's $42 million mansion, it's still that number, just saying it out, that's a big number. What role did Proppy play in making that a seamless, secure process using blockchain?
Yeah, so he wants to take Bitcoin for it. And, we're the leaders in this space. And he believes in, the technology of cryptocurrency and blockchain and all that. So obviously we're the number one choice. The first thing we did was mint the address. Second thing we did, we kind of like started just like by baby steps. But it's a great opportunity for this kind of transaction of this level. $42 million is a lot. But next week we're actually putting on two $50 million listings also. Wow. So that's actually out of Cabo, Mexico. So it's a thing now. It's not just like there's big luxury individuals out there that see the benefit of not only blockchain, but of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, because this is the direction of real estate is going. And these guys that have been the innovators in business, the innovators in real estate or whatever it is, get it and they understand it. And so if that's the direction that they are going, soon the general public would follow.
I mean, I totally get it. And most of these big transactions are cash transactions. Nobody's really borrowing $42 million to buy a house. I don't think so, at least. Not unless you're getting a commercial loan or something. Yeah. So if you're looking at cash, wire transfer, $42 million, clearing it with the banks, clearing it with everybody, that's a 3, 4 day, 5 day, or a week-long process. But with Bitcoin, it's done within minutes. So you could actually close a transaction like that within a day. Starting, in the morning and finishing up in the afternoon by, okay, every account is done, every account is, counted for, and the transaction is complete. That's, insanely great,
Yeah, and it's quick and it's versatile too. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, we had a guy that it was supposed to be a cash deal. But when it came down to, okay, we got to wire last funds, he didn't have the ability to do it because this guy was completely off grid, decentralized. He has Cash App, but he doesn't have an actual bank account. So he couldn't wire funds. So the deal at every other company would have been dead.
Yeah.
But he had crypto in place. And so what he could do is, instead of actually doing a cash deal, we converted to a crypto transaction. We took crypto in, seller got USD. We converted ourselves via Coinbase, and the deal was done in 3 days.
Yeah. Wow. And you guys facilitate the exchange into crypto as well? Because I work with a title company and they actually do crypto transactions. It's a Celebration Title. You might even know them. And I know you could do crypto with them, and they do, quoting market, they exchange cash to crypto or vice versa. Do you guys do something like that as well?
Yeah, so we actually are embedded with Coinbase, and we have a partnership with Coinbase. So we can take crypto in, exchange it right there on their platform, and USD goes out instantly. So that's one of the biggest things that we're actually just releasing right now is our partnership with Coinbase. We are their escrow and title service now.
Hey, I'll tell you a secret. I just bought Coinbase. A buttload of it. And I didn't know
what,
this conversation. Yeah, I just bought buttload in Coinbase because I think it has another, at least $50 to $100 upside, at this point where it's sitting. So
we think so too. We think so too.
That's great.
That's the beauty. So for anyone that's listening to this right now, understand that, we believe that there shouldn't be limitations, right? And we've so often, we're so limited on what we can do. And even as a real estate agent, if someone comes in as a crypto buyer, just think about how open and how the global outreach that you could have if you were a crypto certified agent even, right? Yeah. And people are like, hey, I've got crypto, I need to buy real estate. who are they going to even trust? Are they going to trust an agent that has like, wait, we'll wing it? Or are we going to trust someone that's actually certified and understands the technology and knows how to transact with it, right? But the beauty thing is this, is that when there is a listing, the seller doesn't have to be keen on cryptocurrency. If a buyer comes in and wants to use cryptocurrency, let them.
Yeah,
We'll exchange it for them, and the seller has no clue.
exactly. The seller just ends up with the cash at the end of the day.
That's it.
So Miami-Dade is becoming a hotbed for blockchain innovations. How is this region positioning itself as a leader in integrating technology like blockchain in real estate?
Yeah, it's also, in 2020, just kind of ramped everything, right?
Yeah.
With crypto. Miami is just, like you said, is just been the hub of crypto and blockchain and whatnot. Mayor Suarez actually purchased his house using some Bitcoin. So if the mayor's even doing it, Miami's in it. The great thing is this, there's a huge luxury market in Miami. And these individuals are very keen on what's going on of new technologies. They're keen on cryptocurrency and what's happening, and they understand it. And so these are the ones that own cryptocurrencies. And so they want to use these cryptocurrency. They're seeing tax benefits using cryptocurrency. And so now what they're doing is they're looking for homes that are specifically that they can buy with crypto. Majority of those style of buyers are actually here in Miami, because it's just that level of technology and that person and the modern vibes that you get in Miami is that kind of tech savvy person, and that Miami's just a great fit for it.
Yeah, and so for global real estate, what play do you think Miami-Dade has? Like, it's going to be like a hub, like you're going to buy houses in Dubai through Miami, or what? How do you see this? Because as we talked about blockchain, it is global, it is big, and you could get it anywhere. You could pay for it. You could be on an island of Bali, and you could purchase a house in Miami in 5 minutes, or like you could transfer the money in 5 minutes to an account or a person through blockchain in Miami. So, what do you think the role of Miami is going to be in this, in the global market?
I think Miami will, Miami's a special place, right? Everyone,
Yeah.
everyone wants to come to Miami. Everyone sees Miami. It's a special place. Because of that, there is a huge international attraction to it. The people from Dubai are looking to invest in Miami. South America, there is a ton of Central and South Americans that are looking to invest specifically in Miami. South America is pretty keen on cryptocurrency and the blockchain ledgers. And so we're seeing a lot of those individuals coming to Miami, and those are the ones that are buying with crypto. There are state governments and countries that are trying to implement in Central and Southern America's Bitcoin into like their daily.
But it makes sense because of all their inflation and the corruption in the government, et cetera, et cetera. It just makes sense to have a currency that, hey, this is not going to change. You can't manipulate it by printing more of it. No, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's being implemented in places that we didn't think necessarily would. And now here we are in 2024, almost 25. And the governments are getting on board with it. So it's really exciting. Miami's always going to have those type of buyers. As we have seen at Proppy, Miami has been the #1 place for crypto buying in real estate. And so that's going to continue, and it's going to keep growing and growing and growing. And I feel like it's going to kind of like start in Miami and then keep kind of, if you had a heat lamp or and kind of struck a match, you would see it just kind of like a wildfire just kind of spread throughout all Florida. So Miami definitely just, I don't know, it's just that vibe, I guess.
Yeah, it's crazy. So like Poppy has changed, I don't know how many people's views on real estate, What has been one of your proudest moments at Proppy so far, especially regarding Florida's evolving market?
I really think that us being the first of many, us being the first to transact with real estate with cryptocurrency and on blockchain and all that's amazing. But to be honest with you, there's so much more work to be done that we want to get state governments, we want to get banks involved, we want to get like everyone involved so that this true process of real estate is efficient and quick, right? But I'm going to tell you something that I think is one of our biggest things is something that we actually did for the real estate agent. And we've come out with the first real estate transactional AI that is Web3 based. It's on blockchain, and we're using smart contracts for it. But because of this, we have been able to actually transact real estate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So typically what happens is that if a real estate agent goes under contract, they put an email together and they send it to their title company, right?
Yeah.
But what Proppy is doing now is we actually have the technology where executed contracts dropped into our platform. Our smart contracts, our AI, will read over those contracts and timeline and start the escrow and title process. So we've included automation in place with a digital type of earnest money deposit and being able to transact with crypto. Agents no longer have to wait until Monday morning if they're going under contract on Saturday. Lancelot, do you ever work on the weekends as a real estate agent?
I work every weekend, my friend.
Exactly. Exactly. But yet, if you go under contract, you have to tell your client, hey, we're going to open up escrow on Monday. Well, now no longer does that have to be a thing. You can actually start transacting the time that your client expects you to, which is right when you go under contract. So I think that beginning, I think is going to be a huge opportunity for all real estate agents and brokers alike.
Does this AI do TC services as well?
You'll be surprised what our platform can do.
I mean, just wondering, because TC is, it's $300 a transaction, get all the headaches if you don't use them. If you want to, let that loose, it's like, hey, you take care of this, it's $300. So now if you have an AI bot doing it for you, basically communicating with the clients, both sides, if anything, you just have to input, or talk to it, I guess. Agents' names, clients' names, inspectors' names, lenders' names, and then it does the whole connection and does I could see that happening in the future. I'm a big AI fan. I'm invested heavily in AI too. So
we have it on our platform. We don't have it so much as an AI like bot, like how you're kind of referencing it to, but all of that's on our platform. Yeah.
I mean, I've just recently started dabbling around and playing around with the idea of Sintra. I don't know if you've heard of them, Sintra AI. I was like, dude, if I could figure this out, how I could make it into my transaction coordinator, my assistant, et cetera, because it's just hard to find the right people. It's the worker pool that you would expect when you're a top producing person. If you find the right person, it's $100,000 a year. Like you can't afford,
I know,
in a small business to hire the right person, and if you just find a $30,000, $40,000 person, they're not going to do the job as well, that you expect. And then it's just going to be a headache because you're like, oh, now I have to figure this out myself,
Yeah.
So definitely AI.
So I want to ask you, so I'm in this business, in this industry. I live and breathe real estate. I live and breathe cryptocurrency. I live and breathe blockchain. I'm there, right? I'm in it. So like for you as an outside person looking in, like where do you see blockchain as like the most relevant in real estate?
I thought it was title, but you're opening my eyes to a lot more things here. But I thought it was title and eliminating that particular ancient thing, of having them go through, it's still human error possible. If you have blockchain and AI technology combined into one, you're registering the title on blockchain and you have AI that would look over the documents and make sure every number is correct. There's a tiny little possibility of some kind of error happening, but I think it's way less than a human looking through paperwork. Or always the finger pointing in that industry. Oh, it's the lender's fault. No, it's the title's fault. No, it's the lender's fault. That could be eliminated. Like the AI blockchain guy did not get the documents from the lender, but it sent out everything because it's like time logged in there. Like everything was sent out to you, man. You cannot say that it's the title's fault anymore, or still have some human oversight, but it would be a much less work intense position. That's what I see. I also like that you could do 1 day closes. I'm like, God, 1 day close? If a person is in need of a home, like, God, my house got blown away by a hurricane. Okay. And I need to buy a house right now for my family to live in. and you could accommodate a transaction within 24 hours pretty much, I think that's incredible. Or 7 days. Let's say he has an inspection period. But, right after the inspection period, you could close that deal. Like, boom, done.
Yeah.
And they can move into their new house. I think that's phenomenal. You don't have to wait the 2 weeks, getting documents back from here, checking this out, checking that out. All that stuff could be eliminated. All the wait for municipalities to come back with, oh, they have nothing owed on their water bills. Now you could close on the deal, because we have that in our area. I don't know if you have it in yours, but that's a thing that you wait sometimes 2 weeks. Now, if that's on the blockchain, constantly refreshed, then you can eliminate that time, and close within a few days.
Yeah. We have become a people of, addiction to self-gratification.
Yeah.
And if we think about how all of us, you, me included, how we shop for anything. I mean, we have Amazon that gives us things the same day.
Yes.
Right? Like, that's wild. I mean, next day is typically, the norm. But now, I don't know about you, Lancelot, but if I don't get something delivered at least the next day, I look for a different supplier.
Pretty much.
Which means 2 days is now too long. But when we're talking about real estate, 30 days is okay.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
Hey, Eric, I totally agree with you on this. And just think about all the stress it would relieve our clients from. Like, every single transaction that takes 30 days, you have 30 days of worrying, 30 days of talking people off ledges, 30 days of nonstop, hey, what's going on? What's going on? It's a lot of just waiting, but you constantly have to update the people on that. Now, if you could close in 7 days, guess what? You could go from super stress and, for 30 days to like, oh, they just got into it. They love it. They did the inspections. Everything's good. Close. And no waiting on the banks, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just so much relief for the agent, for the client, and everybody. I mean, it's just really good, I think.
Yeah.
Speed helps always. And as you said, instant gratification. Millennials, if you don't pick up your phone as a realtor, they're within 10 minutes or less, they're already on the phone with another person, because they want to talk and they want the information right there, right now. Let's say you're driving your car down I-4, because you live in Tampa, I-4, and one of your clients calls you, hey, I saw this house. Can you tell me about this right now? Blah, blah, blah. And then if it's not a solidified client that you have built a good relationship with, guess what he's doing? If you tell him, hey, I'm driving down the highway right now, I can't really look up anything. Give me an hour or two until I get home. He's already looking it up himself on Zillow or Realtor.com, wherever, or calling the next agent to find out the information. If you have instant access to this stuff through AI or blockchain, you don't have to have that friction there, I think.
It amazes me how many real estate agents still don't pick up their phone.
Yeah, me too.
It's wild.
How many 2 million of us, and half of them don't pick up? I don't know. It's
wild,
ridiculous number.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you've done business in Miami. You know exactly how that works. I remember back in the day, about 7, 8 years ago, I was doing rentals down in Miami. It was my first. I was with KW, and I got into the business 7 or 8, rentals my first year. And a lot of them were Spanish-speaking ladies or gentlemen on the other side. And I don't know how many times I was speaking to their kids because they didn't speak English. Now, if you have AI that they could utilize, guess what? That translation instantly disappear, and that could be through the blockchain, AI, etc. Because what they speak into the phone in Spanish could be the phone through AI could translate straight to you in English, and you have no language barrier anymore. Imagine that. That's incredible, especially in our business where it's 80% talking, and texting and messaging and conversation and communication. That's the bulk of our business is communication.
I know.
That's another thought I just had.
I know.
I mean, you were asking me about.
I'm with you. Well, and that's just that. I mean, if you think about even on the international business, I mean, there's just no language barriers at all.
Yeah.
So anyway,
where do you see the next big opportunity for blockchain in real estate? I mean, you asked me that. Now I'm asking you that, particularly as we look at the Florida market and the coming years.
I really think it's going to be in the aspect that you kind of said. It's going to be the deeds, and it's going to be the process. Um, we want the American government to get on board with it. And there's enough use cases for us to prove the stableness and the strength of blockchain. And so it would be just phenomenal for the US government to see what they want, see what they need it, see that they need reform, put all the past deeds onto blockchain, set up systems that their county can then record blockchain, right? And then go forward, and we didn't need all this title insurance. I think that, and we did that countrywide, that just, it would just make things, I mean, it'd be trillions of dollars that the American people would be saving.
Correct.
Not only that, but all of the processes are going to be so much faster. The government doesn't, I don't like to say this, people won't like this, but think about all the employees that don't need to be paid anymore by the government because they don't need an actual person to be looking up these forms or these records. It's just there. So I think that is going to be the next step, is getting government involved, getting them to understand what this technology is. There's already government officials that get it, right?
Yeah.
But it's
Even
got
at the highest levels.
It's got to be at the highest levels, and there's just got to, we actually years ago went into a county and we started doing this, but it just didn't get traction. So, timing is everything, I believe. And I think now we're getting closer and closer to having these conversations.
And then for those who are skeptical about blockchain's role in real estate, what would you say to them, and why would they be paying attention now more than ever about
I
going
think
on?
I think it's just education. I think that people view blockchain and they don't understand the difference between blockchain and cryptocurrency, and they hear cryptocurrency and there's just like this kind of bad flavor in their mouth because either, they lost a ton of money back in like 2020, or they think it's for drug dealers and sex traffickers and all these things. But so it's education, right? And I feel, and this is why, we educate people, because we want everyone to understand what this is. We have a certification for real estate agents that can take it. We actually are the first company that have ever gotten a crypto and blockchain course approved for a CE class. So now real estate agents can actually take our CE course, which, by the end of the year, everyone's kind of like hustling now, can take our course, get a basic understanding of what all this technology is, what the terminology means, how it's implemented in real estate. And then when they come away from this 3 hours course, they're really understanding like, okay, now I get it. So I think the skepticism is because there's not enough education out there. And most individuals are busy with life, and they're not going to chat GPT, what is blockchain? It's more other stuff that they're worried about than a technology that, who cares kind of thing,
Also in our business, what's the average age of our business? 60 years old, 55, 60, like humans are creatures of habit, and even in our board, they voted off joining Stellar, which is like across Central Florida. And now we have Palm Coast, and New Smyrna joined, but Daytona, we voted them out, and we still have Flex. And I'm like, okay, so we're like the one standing bastion with Flex MLS. Like, why can't we just join the board there so I don't have to pay 2 fees, to list my properties in my county, So something.
Why is that?
It's just so weird, isn't it? Like, why? I have an idea. I might share it with you afterwards, but I think, it's more about people, a creature of habit, like it's easy. I already learned this. I know how to input. I know how to use. I don't want to learn anything new. Average age 50 to 60. You guys all voted, yes, let's change. Older people were like, no, let's not, because we like what we have, because it's easier. I don't have to learn anything new. I might only have a few more years in the business, et cetera, et cetera. You understand where that's coming.
I get it. Yeah.
So it's the same thing with blockchain and AI and ChatGPT and all that stuff, is that people are not realizing the power and how they could utilize it and what it could do for us.
Yeah. And for someone that's brand new into it, it's still a little awkward to like try to figure out this whole wallet thing and understanding all of that. I think that there's still a lot of work to be done to simplify the processes when it comes to that. But once it's just like, I mean, good technology should not be hard to learn.
No.
Like it's in place because it's just a no-brainer, right? And so that's the direction that we've got to take this, is just make it so simple that anyone, even a caveman, can do it, right?
I mean, I think an easy key would be first step, because that 75-digit code to transfer a coin is like, oh my God, did I write it right? You know, like 2020, I was sending here, getting there, buying Dragon Coin and all that stuff. Yeah, I went through all that phases, and I was like, God, if they could just make this a little bit simpler, like there should be like a button that you press and you get a short code that you can copy and then put it in, or easily type into another product. I think that would help a lot in that aspect. But also another thing about blockchain, with blockchain, we could do a nationwide MLS. A nationwide MLS, which means that we could get the power back from those big companies that are utilizing our data to make money off of us, basically. So we pay them, and they take our data, and we pay them to use our data to get leads out. You get what I'm saying? Like, hey, how about a national MLS? You know, like that would be awesome. And the blockchain, uncorrupted data with the information of the properties that you're listing, and it would be a 1-click or 2-click, fill out the MLS sheet or whatever, upload your listing, because all the data would be pre-filled except for, you know, remarks and whatever needs to be filled out by the agent. But like, you know, this how many bedrooms are in the public record, this is how many bathrooms, square footage, all that data would be pre-filled for you by a click of a button through blockchain. Like, wouldn't that be like amazing?
That'd be amazing. That would be amazing.
You wouldn't need an assistant to do that anymore, because it would be like, buck, 2 buttons and you're done, you know?
Yeah, it would know everything, you know? If there was an addition that already added on, then it would just be like, yeah, now it's a 3-2.
Yeah, exactly. Wrapping it up. Thank you very much for coming, man. You want to do any shout outs? Do you have anything that you would like to promote? I know your website probably.
Yeah, check us out. Go to proppy.com, go to proppytitle.com to see all of our services. Educate yourself. We'll be doing a CE course, a live CE course in Tampa. We will be doing a virtual one for all of Florida before the end of the year. So educate yourself for free and get CE credits for it. Follow me on LinkedIn, Eric L. Cruz. You can follow me also on all socials as Mr. Eric Cruz, and to learn more and to get those dates. Also, we have that partnership with Coinbase now. So it's a huge opportunity for individuals now looking to have crypto. Now they know that they can buy properties with crypto. So guess what they're going to need? Real estate agents. So make sure that you reach out to one of our account executives to figure out how you can get involved in some of that action.
Thank you, Eric, again for coming on the pod. This was a pleasure. Amazing information. And it's the future, guys. Eric knows it. He's been doing it for a few years now. I think this is going to be really cool. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for joining us on Sir Lancelot's Real Estate Roundtable, where we've unveiled the mysteries of real estate together. Remember, in this kingdom of possibilities, every dream home is just a discussion away. I can help your real estate dreams come true. Just call me at 786-449-7518. Until our next roundtable, may your ventures be prosperous and your homes be filled with love and joy. Farewell, fellow knights of real estate.